What's up, guys? Welcome back to Adventures in Adversity, an inspirational podcast where we've got, let's see, this will be episode 82. But before this, we had 81 stories from incredible people, 55 plus different people from all over the world, from all walks of life, talking about how they have turned adversity into an adventure. They have turned their problems into their purpose. They've turned trauma into triumph in so many ways. So be sure to take a look at all the incredible stories that I'm so grateful to just have on this podcast, because each of them has an amazing human being behind it. All right, so episode 82. I want to get right into it. If you clicked on this, you are interested in the vagus nerve, okay? Vagus nerve. Now, not the Las Vegas nerve. I don't know where you're listening from in the world. We got a lot of countries. Super stoked about that. But if you are not from the United States and you're not familiar with Las Vegas, Nevada, we are not talking about the Las Vegas nerve. We're talking about the vagus, V-A-G-U-S, nerve. Now, why am I talking about the vagus nerve when we're talking about adventures in adversity and many different stories from many different people? Because the vagus nerve, when activated, write this part down, can help you get through adversity. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. End of episode. Click. Just kidding. Now, I'm going to tell you how the vagus nerve can help you and me, because we all need it. I'm just learning as we go here, get through adversity. Okay, so if you've been listening for a while, whether you're new, no, I just said that. If you've been listening for a while, you know that I definitely don't shy away from the topic with all of my guests and talking about like what's going on in your body, what's going on in your mind when you're going through a hard time in life. Now, from what I've learned here in my little research and in my talking to psychologists, talking to people who have been through it, there's this thing called the nervous system. You know, you learn about it in school, but I don't know about you guys, but I didn't quite understand the value, that's not the right word. I didn't understand the pivotal role that your nervous system played in pretty much everything you do. And regulating it is literally how you are able to get through adversity, right? Otherwise, you're in a constant state of panic. So today, we're actually going to talk about what happens to our nervous system when we go through prolonged periods of stress, pressure, all sorts of things. And that pressure can come from all kinds of adverse situations, adversity. Some of those we can control, some we can't, right? So we are going to talk about adversity. We're going to talk about nervous system activation, what that means, what is the vagus nerve, and some very practical tools that we, not just you, but me, can use if you're in a tough chapter right now. All right, so looking at my notes here. Okay, so first of all, I'm pretty sure if you're listening, you've been through adversity. Maybe you're going through it right now. Maybe it's on its way. Who knows? But we do know I am a deeply believing Christian and a follower of Christ. And I do know that God does say in the Bible that we definitely will have tribulations. It's not a question of when or if, but it's when. Knowing that, what is actually happening in our body during adversity? Okay. So I want to give a shout out real quick to Perplexity AI. Again, great tool to use if you're just interested in like researching anything. I love psychology. It helps me prep show notes, and it's just great. So anyway, Perplexity AI. So here's what's actually happening according to research here. In high stress, high conflict, or overwhelming situations, the nervous system is doing exactly what it was designed to do: protect us. Okay, so you might recognize some of these states. This is when you're maybe in the midst of adversity, what this might feel like in your body. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Okay, so feeling angry, this is fight. Heat up, ready to argue, all that stuff. Flight, wanting to run, move, overwork, scroll, or avoid. Freeze, going blank, dissociating, staring into space, losing words, or fawning, over explaining, apologizing, people pleasing to stay safe. So I've had like 55 plus, maybe even 60 now, guests. I think it was a couple months ago I counted, it was 55. The rest are episodes like this where I'm kind of just filling in. And I've noticed a lot of the guests, and anytime I've shared, they describe living in these states, these states where their nervous system is on like fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and going back and forth for a long time, right? It's almost like, not almost like, it is, if you've ever been in that situation where you're going through something that's like traumatic, your nervous system, you're in like a freeze response, right? So it's difficult to navigate when you're in it. And one of the things I've learned is you really got to breathe, right? And then we're going to get to that with the vagus nerve thing. But I digress for a second. All right. So here we go. According to research here, and I'm going to put in the show notes where this is coming from, what researchers have discovered and what many people find is when you're in that state of like, it's not safe, stay on high alert, you're trying to think your way out of it, right? Like telling yourself it's going to be fine. Apparently you can't actually do that, right? So psychologists have discovered when you start with the body, breath, sensation, and movement, they found just enough calm to speak and live from a more grounded place. All right, so what's the lesson there? You actually can't think yourself out of like a fight or flight state when your nervous system is dysregulated. And I actually listened to something yesterday when I was at the gym. And if someone's like, what is your nervous system actually? Before we get into all this vagus nerve and stuff, we all know we have a nervous system. Well, if you didn't, you know now. I knew we had one, but I didn't understand the importance of it until this podcast. Your nervous system is essentially, and I'll link to the book. It's like the Vagus Nerve Reset. I'm listening to this audio book right now. Your nervous system is like your electrical wiring in your body. I heard that yesterday and I was like, I get it. Okay, that makes sense. So it's the wiring, right? Okay. So now what is the vagus nerve? VAGUS. Again, show notes, sources for all of this stuff I'm saying. The vagus nerve is like a highway connecting the brain to many internal organs: heart, lungs, gut. That's like a big one now, gut. It plays a major role in the stress response and in helping the body come back down after being activated. So that's from the Cleveland Clinic. I'll link to the source. So when a person or when anyone sees danger, your sympathetic nervous system turns on. That's the fight or flight automatic, like Bengal, like saber-toothed tiger coming at you, bear coming at you. So sympathetic nervous system turns on. I'm learning here, the fight or flight. When the danger passes, the parasympathetic system, heavily influenced by the vagus nerve, is supposed to help the body rest, digest, and feel connected again. Okay, so what does that mean? It means when things appear in our environment, you have that automatic response. And again, that's the sympathetic nervous system. This is the fight or flight response, automatically trying to keep you alive. Like you jump before you even consciously know it because like your body's keeping you safe, right? When the danger passes, the vagus nerve is supposed to help the body rest, digest, and feel connected again. Okay, so it's the one that connects to all the organs. So you want to calm that vagus nerve in reaction to a stress, what's it called? Stimulus in your environment. You're going to have that sympathetic automatic response. Then once you chill, your vagus nerve comes to kind of chill the body out. All right. Here, according to Chiron clinics, no one is broken for reacting this way, the fight or flight. The body is doing its best with the information it has. So you might notice You could be when you're super stressed, difficulty sleeping, waking up in panic, replaying conversations, feeling numb, or feeling completely like cognitive overload. That is like a nervous system stress response. Okay. All right. So, what I want to talk about in this episode is how do we send our bodies those different signals, meaning how do we connect and activate the vagus nerve to create a sense of calm in our body that could then help us get through adversity. Cool. All right. So, here are a few practices that have been game changers for many people. This is according to Clinical Counseling Associates, link in the show notes, including a few of my guests, I will say. This doesn't replace medical care or anything like that, but it is something you should definitely see a therapist, talk to your doctor, but there are things you can do in the moment to calm your nervous system, which is activating your vagus nerve, which then calms your nervous system, which then brings you down from a fight or flight state to chillin'. All right. 4 to 6 second breathing with a gentle exhale. So they say inhale gently through your nose for a count of 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat that for 2 to 3 minutes. Ooh, that's good. The slightly longer exhale, this is from oxygenadvantage.com, can help activate the calming side of the nervous system and support vagal tone. I'm going to get into vagal tone in a second. Actually, I'll just tell you now. Vagal tone, I heard in this book, that book that I'm linked to below on the vagus nerve reset. Vagal tone is like how quickly your body can go from a stress state to a calm state. So if you have like a high vagal tone, you can like regulate yourself. Vagal tone, that is like life goals, right? All right, so the slightly longer exhale activates the calming side of your nervous system. And again, nervous system, what is that? It's the wiring everywhere. My guests have shared that, before big conversations, before, big events, big meetings, that taking the time to really breathe like this, that helps them prepare. What they're actually doing is they're activating their vagus nerve. So they're getting that sense of calm before something. Okay, another thing you can do to calm your vagus nerve and activate it is orient to the room. So if you start to feel yourself going into fight or flight mode, look around the room and name 5 things that you can see or touch or hear. So, for example, if I was going into fight or flight mode, sitting here right now, all of a sudden sort of having a panic, I would start the breathing and say, gray microphone, white bedspread, bright light bulb, chicken cooking, clean window, dirty window. Like I'm just bringing my body back into this moment instead of like anything you're creating in your head. Vocal and facial exercises can stimulate the vagus nerve. Okay. The vagus nerve actually runs through your whole, like up and down through your body, and then it touches all of the organs. So in that, it's a part of the wiring that is maybe the central wiring that's connected. So when it's activated, it then sends calm into all your organs. All right. So the vagus nerve is like amazing. Because the vagus nerve, this is from UVA Health, reaches the vocal cords and muscles in the face and throat, simple vocal practices can stimulate it. Hum a song you love for a minute or 2. Wow. Okay, so that one. Read something out loud in a calm, steady voice. That's what I'm doing right now with this research. So I'm activating my vagus nerve. Soften your jaw, unclench your teeth, and drop your shoulders. Okay, what else here? Setting micro boundaries with yourself. So in high stress seasons, it's tempting to binge watch shows, refresh your notifications 400 times a day, right? A nervous system boundary for you to kind of activate the vagus nerve and keep it calm. maybe not scrolling about like devastating topics right before you go to bed. Maybe going for a walk and doing for the 4 to 6 second breathing, right? Um, it's really amazing how you, when you like prioritize calming your body down and like actually doing these things, that your whole life changes. Okay. All right. So I'm rambling here. Vagus nerve goes up and down through your whole body, connects to your brain, your different organs. It's the central wiring. When you do things like exercising, breathing, actually, let's see what the top 10 ways, to activate vagus nerve. And you guys get to just hear me talk about it. If you don't want to, look it up yourself. But if you do, Perplexity AI, go for it. All right. I'm going to talk about this and put this information I'm learning in the context of what I've learned in, 81 episodes. So I'll kind of talk about these top 10 vagus nerve activators and then any episodes that come to mind where maybe that's been mentioned. All right. So the number 1, top 10 vagus nerve activators. Remember the central wiring that then calms your organs. Deep, slow breathing from CedarSinaiHospital.com down in LA. Diaphragmatic breathing with a slightly longer exhale. So shorter inhale, longer exhale can increase parasympathetic activity and vagal tone. What's a vagal tone? Your ability to go from a dysregulated state to a regulated state. Cold exposure. I did a episode. Oop. My daughter's calling. Hold on. Hi. How's it going? Are you invited? Is she invited? Okay, only if you say please and thank you and be the very good manners. No, Reese. How you if you've been invited for dinner, you may stay. Is that authorized by parents? No, how about 7? They're negotiating. 7:40. All right, I'm recording a podcast episode literally right now. Wait, hold on. Okay, love you. Bye. Well, welcome to life. Okay, that was my daughter. She's staying in a friend's house for dinner until a little bit. Okay. Um, Cold exposure. I did an episode on like life is like a cold plunge. So apparently, brief cold showers, splashing cold water in your face, or holding a cold pack to your neck or face can stimulate the Las Vegas nerve. Just kidding, Vegas. Via the dive reflex. Ooh, slows your heart rate. Cool. We talked about the humming and the chanting or the singing. So literally, if you're like having an anxiety attack, just like start humming. Who knew? That's why you do like Gargling. Vigorous gargling with water, according to charliehealth.com, creates throat vibration that can engage vagal pathways and is suggested as a simple daily exercise. This is amazing. Moderate exercise and yoga support vagal tone, help rebalance stress and rest responses. So it's almost like yoga and prayer. Prayer. That is the ultimate vagus nerve activator. I'll probably end with that. It's almost like you're like just caring for your vagus nerve and like activating it to remind it that you're safe. Wow. Massage. Gentle massage of neck, shoulders, feet, or reflexology can support vagus nerve activity and lower blood pressure. Huh. This is a good one. Activate the vagus nerve. Laughter and social connection. Positive social engagement, eye contact, genuine laughter are linked with healthier vagal tone and related research on social engagement systems. Body shaking. Short bouts of body shaking or bouncing can help discharge tension. and are used in vagus nerve exercise protocols for chronic stress and pain, according to soundsurrey.com. Listen, that's all I got, guys. Daughter called. We got to pick her up soon. I'm getting this published tonight, sending this over to Julio, my amazing producer, Jack London. And again, guys, we all got a vagus nerve. Let's just, what happens in the vagus nerve doesn't have to stay in Vegas? No, I don't understand. Anyway, the vagus nerve is important, and you should activate it. And the best way, I'm going to come in with this. Adventures in Adversity is very, very honored and empowered by my faith in Jesus. And he is, I think, anytime you pray, Jesus can definitely work on your nervous system. I mean, come on. That's just like, he can rewire everything. And that's what he's doing for me. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. It's Sunday, episode 82. And take care of yourself. Tell your authentic stories. Use your voice. And activate the vagus nerve. Peace.